Welcome to what we hope will be one of many podcasts to come, the Unnamed podcast. Um, I'm here with a couple of friends of mine. We're just give you an idea of who we are, what we're about. A couple of young students. Myself, I'm from Canada. My name is Mike. We got here Pat
Hey, what's up? This is Pat. I'm a college student from Northern California.
and our buddy Dave.
Hey everyone, I'm David and I'm a college student over here in Northern California as well.
And basically, we're starting this podcast because we feel there isn't much of a dialogue in the world media for a lot of domestic and foreign events. A lot of obviously bias um, interpretation of what's going on in the world. So we hope to kind of open up a new forum, a new dialogue of sharing ideas and talking about the news, and hopefully get people talking more and more aware. I just want to kind of emphasize that we're not trying to force any kind of a point of view on anybody. We're just kind of, we want to get our point of view out there, get people talking, get people thinking. We ourselves, we want to see other people's point of views. We want people to be responding to what we're talking about and that sort of thing. It's important. All right, we'll just jump into the news then. I'm sure you've all heard recently the Trayvon Martin situation in Florida. Of course, 17-year-old Trayvon Martin was shot and killed by George Zimmerman, self-proclaimed neighborhood watch captain. There's been it's a month now since that happened, and there's been a lot of talk politically and in the media as well with what's going on since George Zimmerman wasn't arrested. And so we just want to kind of highlight some of the main topics of what's going on here. I think one of the biggest points was Pat, you were saying earlier about the voice recognition or something.
Yeah, this was just recently, today. Tom Owen from the Owen Forensic Services, they use voice recognition technology to confirm that it was only a 48% match. And if you don't understand how the technology works, you need to shoot around like 90%. And that's, it's not even close. And if anyone's heard it, it's clearly does not sound like a 28-year-old man's voice. It's a
Yeah,
boy.
yeah.
And
You don't
everyone
need
sees it.
technology to tell me that it was not George Zimmerman. It's
Right,
pretty
yeah.
crazy, yeah.
No, yeah, it's the discrepancy between a 250, 260 pound man and a 140 pound kid.
With Skittles.
So, with Skittles, yeah. So, I mean, you really don't need advanced technology to do that. However, another interesting point is the CCTV cameras that
Hmm.
we saw with him. There was absolutely no blood. There was no sign of an altercation really whatsoever. I mean, I think there was some gash on the back of his head that we can see, but who knows?
Yeah, it
Um,
seems like the police officer takes a look at the back of his head, but he doesn't seem too concerned. He takes a
right,
quick
yeah,
look and walks away, and you see
and
a smile on his face as they walk down the hall. Like
right,
it's a little
and
disconcerting.
and the entire time, I mean, the guy had just shot a man, and if the roles had been switched, this guy would have been being touched by a police officer 100% of the time to make sure that he didn't break out, and
Oh, absolutely.
he would have been treated far differently. But you can see the relaxed nature of all the police
Oh,
officers
a
involved.
full-grown black man killing a white kid, that would have been over.
Oh yeah, he would have been placed in jail that night,
Oh,
certainly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
think
doubt about it.
I think it's also important to recognize that Zimmerman claims that it was his voice, and he's also made the claim that he didn't follow the kid. He was doing it on stand his own ground policy. But I mean, there's another recording where we can see that he was asking to pursue. So I mean, he's
Oh,
just
yeah.
lying through his teeth.
Right.
Yeah, what was it was something like the dispatcher told him don't follow him, and
Yeah,
says
yeah.
something under his breath about fucking
Right, he
coons.
said fucking
Like,
coons.
come on.
That's another big because
Controversial.
that's if anyone doesn't understand, that's the point where it become a federal investigation and it's not just under the
It's a
jurisdiction.
blatant hate crime,
Exactly, and that's the point where once it becomes a hate crime, that's where the federal investigators start coming in. So
which they should
that's
have already after a month of these investigations.
oh yeah,
And
certainly, and they have been, but they're doing it in such a slow manner. I mean, how can you? I wouldn't give this guy the benefit of the doubt.
he's a neighborhood watch. Why does he even have a gun?
So, right, yeah, no, I haven't been in the neighborhood where the neighborhood watch is patrolling with a gun, ready to shoot someone. That makes
Yeah.
absolutely no sense.
Not only that, but I'm sure from the perspective of the dispatcher, like I remember hearing the first time when he's talking to the dispatcher and he says that the kid is coming towards him. Well, one would automatically assume that he's in his house and the kid's coming towards the house, but no, he's in his vehicle in the road.
Right,
Yeah.
The
following the
kid's
kid.
walking by. He's coming towards him. That just means he's coming in one direction.
Right.
Like
And I,
What about this kid makes it sketchy? But because you've seen some black kids rob a few houses in your neighborhood, that automatically makes this kid in a hoodie with some Skittles a threat to you? Like any blood splatter expert is going to tell you, for something like that to happen with a gunshot wound, the person getting shot would have to be on the ground. There's no way that a person getting shot above another person would leave no trace of blood on the person underneath.
right.
You know, like that's just complete bullshit.
Yeah, and according to Zimmerman's account, Trayvon was on top of him, beating his face when he was forced to shoot the kid. So anyone that is, there will be blood all over that man from shooting a person on
Yeah, not
top of
only
him.
that, but I mean, you could tell from, regardless of what you believe or what's going on, from the kid screaming help in the videotape or in the audio tape, the second that that kid had the opportunity to have the upper hand, if he did get on top of the guy, if that situation ever did occur, he would have been gone so fucking quick. There's no chance if someone has a gun on me and I'm defenseless and they're on top of me and they're accusing me of doing something just because of my skin color or whatever the situation may be. If I get the upper hand for a split second, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it also calls into account, this is probably the last thing we should say about this, and then we'll move on, but at which point can you claim to be threatened for your life? Because I mean, if you're claiming self-defense and that you were threatened for your life when an 18-year-old kid or 17-year-old kid who isn't even armed, um, you can't, I would say that you can't claim fright for your life at that point, because there isn't much that an unarmed kid can do to you, especially, being a 250 pound 10 year older
Yeah, there's no
man.
excuse.
There's
There's
absolutely
absolutely
no
no excuse.
excuse.
And I think it's
But
also interesting to look how Fox has distracted this to the concept of that's the fault of the sweatshirt and the hoodie. I mean,
yeah, it seems to be
is
a
that just a
conservative
fall?
narrative lately.
It seems like that's kind of like a fallback to understand that this is kind of over, and to kind of one of the reporters even said it's just as much the fault of the sweatshirt and hoodie is of Zimmerman's actions, which is very absurd.
Right.
It's
Yeah, get
unbelievable.
that. Hoodies are one of my favorite articles of clothing. I've worn a hood. I'm wearing a hoodie right now. I've heard the comments before of like, the hoodlum and stuff like that if you're wearing your hood up, but come on now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
Like people have more sense than that in these day and age. Like you can't be looking for vigilante justice from some kid. Like if you need to benefit need to get that adrenaline, find it somewhere else.
Right.
Don't be looking for fights.
Yeah. All
But I
right.
think the biggest problem is the Florida law here, especially.
Certainly, and
Yes.
I think a lot of attention is going to be brought to it at this point, because I believe there's a few other states that actually have similar laws as well. So I think all of those are going to be taken into extreme scrutinization.
Consideration, yeah, definitely.
So I think that's a very good thing. In the sense that um, perhaps this will end up saving the lives of other people that are victims of this stupid law. To move on, though, let's just briefly talk about pink slime. For those of you who don't know, it's the connective tissue of the cow, um, that is basically put
The
together,
waste.
the waste and the stuff that isn't fit to put in good deluxe hamburgers.
They even have to treat it with ammonium hydroxide to prevent possible salmonella.
Right, and the problem with that is ammonium hydroxide is known to cause cancer, and so you're basically putting in an antibacteria to get rid of the bacteria that can cause cancer.